Have you ever felt like your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be? Like your thoughts take longer to form, your focus slips faster, and your curiosity doesn't burn the way it once did? It's a quiet feeling, one that creeps in slowly. You start forgetting small things, losing interest in deep conversations, or finding it harder to think clearly. Most people ignore it. They assume it's just stress or age or the pace of modern life. But what if it's something deeper? What if you're not just tired? What if you're losing your intelligence, slowly and silently? In this video, we're going to explore the hidden signs that your mind is changing. Not because it's broken, but because the world around you is reshaping it in ways you might not even notice. Stay until the end, because understanding this might just save your focus, your creativity, and your sense of self. And before we dive in, if you care about understanding the human mind, unlocking your true potential, and learning how to think deeply again, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We create content designed to awaken your mind, not numb it. Now, let's begin. There's a strange thing happening in the modern world. A quiet epidemic that doesn't make headlines, that no one talks about, but that almost everyone feels. It doesn't hurt the body, and it doesn't leave scars on the skin. It affects something far more fragile, your ability to think. You might not notice it at first. Start slowly. You forget why you walked into a room. You reread the same paragraph 3 times and still can't recall what it said. You open your phone to check the time, and 5 minutes later, you're scrolling through something you don't even care about. Somewhere along the way, your mind stopped feeling sharp. The edges got dull. The clarity faded. You're not broken, but something inside feels slower. And that's the frightening part. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly lose your intelligence. You drift away from it, a little more every day. A few clicks, a few moments of distraction, a few choices that seem harmless until they add up to something much bigger. The quiet erosion of your mind. You see, intelligence isn't a gift you're given once. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, if you stop using it, it weakens. But unlike the body, the brain doesn't scream when it's neglected. It doesn't ache. It doesn't bleed. It just grows quiet. There are signs. Subtle, almost invisible signs that your mind is slipping, not in capacity, but in connection. And most people never notice until it's too late. It starts when you stop thinking for yourself. You begin to outsource it to headlines, to trends, to algorithms that tell you what to care about, what to believe, and even what to feel. The world rewards quick reactions, not deep thought. You're trained to form opinions before you've even had time to understand. And slowly, your mind becomes an echo, loud but hollow. You stop analyzing. You stop questioning. You stop wondering if what you think is really yours. That's the first sign, the moment your thoughts become secondhand. You start confusing familiarity for truth. Repetition becomes reality, and intelligence fades quietly behind convenience. Then comes the second sign, and it hides behind the illusion of productivity. You fill your days with information, videos, podcasts, articles, endless scrolling, and you tell yourself you're learning. But knowledge without reflection isn't wisdom. It's noise. The more you consume, the less you digest. Your brain becomes like an overstuffed attic, full of things you never use. You might remember the facts, but the meaning slips through your fingers. That's not intelligence. That's intellectual bloating. And here's the terrifying part. Your mind adapts. It gets used to the easy reward of half-learning. It forgets the joy of deep focus, the slow, quiet thrill of understanding something complex. You start craving simplicity, short answers, summaries. The very act of thinking, of struggling through uncertainty, feels uncomfortable. And that's when you start losing the third thing, curiosity. You stop asking questions. Not because you found the answers, but because it feels exhausting to search. The spark that once drove you to explore begins to dim. You no longer wonder why, you just scroll to what's next. That curiosity, that hunger for knowledge, is the engine of intelligence. And when it dies, the rest of the machine follows. You see it everywhere. People don't argue ideas anymore. They trade emotions. The fourth sign is when feelings begin to replace thoughts. You start mistaking the intensity of your emotion for the accuracy of your reasoning. You stop analyzing things logically because being right feels better than being curious. And that's when your brain becomes reactive instead of reflective. You're not thinking, you're defending. And the more you live in that emotional storm, the harder it becomes to think clearly at all. But the most dangerous sign of all, the fifth one, is when you stop noticing the beauty of thinking itself. You stop finding joy in small observations, the kind that used to light up your imagination. You stop being amazed by how the world works. The stars don't make you wonder anymore. The quiet doesn't inspire. It scares you. That's the death of depth. The moment you stop feeling awe, your intelligence begins to shrink. Because wonder is what feeds the mind. Without it, you're just existing, not expanding. And if that sounds familiar, it's not too late. The brain is a living system. It can heal, can rebuild itself, but only if you stop feeding it noise and start feeding it silence. Stop scrolling, start thinking, sit in boredom and let your mind wander again. Reread a paragraph, stare at the sky, ask questions without looking for quick answers. That's how you awaken what's been sleeping inside you. Because you're not losing your intelligence. You're forgetting how to listen to it. You were born curious. You were born to connect patterns, to explore, to imagine. But the world has spent years teaching you to trade that gift for convenience. To be busy instead of thoughtful. To be entertained instead of inspired. To be loud instead of wise. Don't let that be the story of your mind. Reclaim your stillness. Protect your focus. Let yourself feel the weight of silence again. Because intelligence doesn't vanish, it just waits for you to come back. You don't need more information. You need attention. You don't need to think faster. You need to think deeper. And maybe the moment you do, you'll realize your mind was never gone. It was only buried under the noise. The most dangerous kind of decay is the one that doesn't hurt. The kind that happens silently behind your eyes while you're too distracted to notice. But intelligence isn't something you lose forever. It's something you reclaim. Every moment you choose to think instead of react, to focus instead of scroll, to wonder instead of assume, you rebuild the strength of your mind. So take this as your reminder. Your intelligence isn't fading. It's waiting. Beneath the noise, beneath the chaos, it's still there. You just have to return to it. If this video resonated with you, if it made you think, pause, or reflect, then take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Because intelligence grows when it's shared, and curiosity spreads when it's sparked. Thank you for watching. Keep thinking deeply, keep your mind awake, and I'll see you in the next one.